Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, you are warmly welcome, and if you are an OG, you are welcome back again. In this video, we are going to be making a shift dress with patch. I'm going to be using 2 yards of printed fabric and then a half yard of a plain material. I've already marked all my lines, so both the front and the back are on fold. You can as well add zip if you want. So I've marked my shoulder to chest measurement, which is 9 inches depending on your armhole measurement. Shoulder to half length 15 and half, shoulder to hip 24 and half, and then the length of my dress with 2 inches hemming allowance. So I've gone ahead to also mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus half an inch sewing allowance, since there will be a sleeve attached to it. I also mark quarter of my bust measurement plus 2 inches, that is 1 inch for ease and then 1 inch for sewing allowance. I did the same thing as well for the waist measurement, quarter of the waist measurement plus 2 inches, same as the hip measurement. And at the bottom part, I mark the same measurement of the hip, so I just connected all my lines together. Yeah. Next up, I went down by 1 inch to create my shoulder slope. So I marked a neck width of 3.5, since there will be no zip. And this particular dress, my client does not want the slit at the front, so there will be no slit. So I used 3.5. If there will be a slit at your front, then you should use 3 inches by 3 inches. But in this case, I use 3.5 by 3.5. That's for the front. And for the back, I mark 3.5 by 1.5 inches. So I just connected my 1 inch down as a shoulder slope to the 3.5 inch neck width. So for the armhole, I just connected the neckline, that's for the back. And for the front, I went in by 0.5 inch and also connected the armhole together. So I'll go ahead and cut facing for both the front and the back piece. You can also decide to use bias, or you can also make bias out of the material if you have enough left to just knitting the neckline instead of using the facing. So for the patch, I'm going to be using this plain white material. So what you have to do is to fold the plain material according to the measurement you used for your shoulder measurement whilst cutting the dress. So mine is 8 inches, so I cut the material in width wise according to the shoulder measurement I used. So I used 8. So what you have to do is to place the front part of the dress on the plain material. So all you have to do is to just cut out the neckline and also the shoulder. But mind you, if you are going to be making a slit at the front part, you should also include the slit. That means you have to cut or slash the front a bit, just about 2.5 or 3 inches, depending on how you want the slit to be. So I am done cutting out the shoulder and then the neckline of the front. So you have to determine material or your front piece of work. Then you knitting also the V part or the slit part of the front. And when you are done, you just flip it back to the right side. So I have gone ahead to sew all the sides. As for me, I am not doing the slit, so I just went ahead to sew the sides, both sides, and right now I just placed it on the front part directly. Now I've ironed the midpoint of both the patch and the front piece. This way I will be able to place the patch on the front piece nicely. So midpoint of the patch to the midpoint of the front. And then afterwards I'm just going to stitch the patch to the front piece. So you have to at both sides of the patch, you have to make sure you stitch close to the patch. Just make sure you stitch close to the patch, and when you get to the pointed part, you pivot and move to the next point. So this is how it looks after stitching the patch to the front piece. I want to lay more emphasis on the front sleeve. So let's just imagine this piece that I am holding is the patch. So you place it at the wrong side and just sew around the neckline to the slit and to the other side. And when you are done, you notch, and then you just flip it from the wrong side to the right side. So it simply means that you are directly knitting the front neckline of this dress. So you can as well use the same material to make a bias for the back. So I'll go ahead and join both the front and the back shoulders together, and then afterwards I will attach facing to the neckline, since there is nothing like a slit on mine. So this is it after stitching the facing to it. We are almost done with the dress. I also went ahead to attach sleeves. I'm knitting all the parts and join with my 1-inch sewing allowance. So if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't. A big thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.